was favorable discrimination, enjoyment of favorable discrimination. We are against those discriminatory practices where we suffer. But if the sufferer is from lower side and I am standing at higher side, I am not ready to believe in egalitarian society. Even the greatest sufferer of untouchability, when he comes back to his house, he starts discriminatory practices and begins to beat his spouse. Says that you are a woman and I am a man, Superman. I have the right to beat you. He also enjoys favorable discrimination. That is why the discrimination is very tough. How to do away with discrimination? Only Buddhism is the answer. In Buddhism, one man and man, the other man, both are equal. Man and woman, they are also equal. You can go to join any employment, any profession. You are free to get education, which was not available in any book before the Constitution of India. When he wrote Constitution of India, he studied so many constitutions throughout the world. He studied Lord Buddha. He studied so many things in Ashokan vision and the Ashoka inscriptions. And he incorporated all those points, whether it was in directive principles of state policy or directive principles or fundamental rights. Universal Charter of Human Rights, all 30 points, if you match them, if you notice that almost all the points are covered in the fundamental rights of Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution gives you right to vote in Article 326. It gives you Supreme Court, so many things it gives. But Dr. B.R. Ambedkar emphasized upon equality and fraternity. Equality, liberty, fraternity, these go together. If one is not there, both will go in some or the other way. Why fraternity is most important in Dr. Ambedkar's thought? For him, fraternity was like Maitri of Buddhism. Above friendship. He explained like that. And on the last day of Constituent Assembly, he gave his address that is called Grammar of Anarchy. In that speech, he declared that we are afraid of hero worship. That some people will be so grateful that they will follow their hero in politics. He said that in religions or in his spiritualism, it may be useful for some people. But this kind of bhakti or blind worship, it will not be useful in politics and society. Andhe andha theliya dono ko pradant, jaka guru bhi andala chela nirarant. So the entire country will go to degradation. He warned the people. He quoted O'Connor, who said that to be grateful is good, but nobody should be grateful at the cost of his honor. No woman should be grateful at the cost of her chastity. No nation should be grateful at the cost of her liberty. He clarified everything in his speech, Grammar of Anarchy, because he wanted to see a reconstructed India, an ideal society in India, based on logic, reason, based on equality, liberty, fraternity, based on scientific things. He wanted scientific temperament in India. But this constitution was criticized by so many people. His Hindu code bill was also criticized. One constitutional expert was invited in Madras University in 1951. Sir Ivor Jennings, for 3 days. And for this duration, he criticized this constitution that it is too rigid, verbose, prolix, and very tiresome. He criticized most of the points of the Constitution of India. Sir Ivor Jennings. Alladi Krishna Iyer was present there because he was also in Constituent Assembly and Drafting Committee. He noticed so many things, but he could not reply because he died. What happened to the constitutions? There was a survey also. But what happened to the prophecy of Ivor Jennings? In 1960, he was given the task of monitoring Ceylon's constitution, Sri Lankan constitution. Earlier it was called Ceylon. He studied so many constitutions. He studied Indian constitution also. And what constitution he prepared, he monitored, it lasted only for 6 years. And the Constitution of India was still going with flying colors. One survey was conducted by Harvard University and Chicago University. And that survey, it was studied that what is the lifespan of constitutions. They studied almost 792 constitutions since 1789. And they found that the lifespan, average lifespan is only 17 years. And they studied again that which type of constitutions are successful. So the causes of those successful constitutions were the same which were criticized by the critics of Dr. Ambedkar's constitution. They said the constitution to last needs specificity. Indian constitution was criticized that it's very long. If specific things are given there, they are described, it has to be very large, very long constitution, very detailed. Those constitutions should have very detailed things in administration. Very clearly defined things. So, the constitution is still successful. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar warned regarding democracy also, that we have to create some conditions so the democracy may be saved. We have to do away with glaring inequalities. If these inequalities are in the form of caste, creed, region, linguism, and other factors, these are glaring inequalities, whether gender discrimination is there. To save democracy, we have to do away with them. There must be no oppressor class. There must be no suppressed class. It means we are sowing the seeds of revolts, revolutions. He again warned that the untouchables or the downtrodden of India, they are tired of being exploited, being administered. Now we want to rule. We no longer want to be ruled. We are tired of it. It was a great vision, revolting. He prepared you to revolt. If you go again and again, this is speech. Grammar of anarchy, certainly the conditions of democracy you will see there. Again, he said that there must be healthy opposition. If opposition is not there, the government will execute, legislate, or whatever decision the government takes. They may be against the majority or minority. Any government has no authority to be authoritarian or high-handed. Opposition must be there to check and balance the high-handedness, corruption, and other malpractices of the government. They must be ready to answer, to question everything. Again, he told about another condition, that is equality in law and administration. If representation of minorities, representation of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes is not there in law and order, law and administration, certainly they will suffer and they will be dissatisfied. What they would do? So some representation must be there which will support them. And there must be constitutional morality also. Without constitutional morality, no officer, no judge, no leader will be successful. They will do their own work. Recently, you see the lack of constitutional morality in so many judges' statements and decisions. One judge from Delhi High Court decided that had Manusmriti not been there, the women of India would not have been respected. This is the decision of a court. It was her statement. One judge of Rajasthan High Court said that the peacocks are born out of tears. One judge of Supreme Court told that palmistry is just like physics, it must be introduced in the universities. In the same case, other judge also told that astrology must be introduced. They are not serious about STEM education. STEM education, the new generation knows science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I add 2 or 3 things to this list, economics and law also. Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar wanted higher education for us. Again, the condition of moral order is there. Public conscience must be there. If moral order and public conscience are not there, what happens? You always think that if wrong is with me or with my family or my caste, that is wrong. And if my neighbor belongs to some other caste, some other religion, that is not wrong. Let it go. This is the lack of morality, moral order, and lack of public conscience. In this way, nationalism will not evolve. He explained that India is not yet a nation. It is country. If we want to make it a nation, we will have to go up to it. We will have to stand above caste and creed and other discriminations. Otherwise, we will not be able to make it a nation. He told that minorities must be protected by the majority. If you think that you are majority, you are not to make any law against minority. If you win any election. Devashish Rai Chaudhary wrote a book, To Kill a Democracy, India's Passage to Despotism. He said that elective despotism has come there. Elections are there, but the voice of people is hushed up. That is not there. That is just like some magic. So this kind of despotism is because the erosion of institutions is taking place. The same things Dr. B.R. Ambedkar pointed about. This country's history tells you regarding divide and rule policy of Manuwadi people. They cripple everything. If the society or any section of society, if any icon tries to make any reformation or egalitarian society or some just thing, they crippled that. Whether it was Buddhism, they entered Buddhism and almost crippled it. They entered Jainism. They compelled Jainism to surrender. They entered Islam. They introduced casteism. Portuguese, Dutches, the British, Mughals, all other people who entered India, whether they went back or they stayed here, discrimination was there in their conduct. And when they went back, they became more discriminatory. This is an infection. Discrimination is an infection. Whatever you think, had there been no caste, India would not have seen any gender discrimination or any communism or any partition thereafter. Discredit goes to the institution of caste only, because the people always think about divide and rule, divide and rule. Now they want to destroy the constitution because they think that this is the only constitution which has cut our share, which has curtailed our share from every institution. They have been given reservation, who were less than humans in our eyes. From the very beginning of the constitution, Madras High Court decided that there should be no reservation. Parliament had to make amendment. First amendment was there. Again in 1970. These are the attacks on constitution, attacks on Dr. Ambedkar, attacks on Buddhist philosophy, attacks on humanism. Again in 1970, they coined a term, creamy layer, that whosoever is there, income taxpayer, MLA, MP, and who is earning a lot from scheduled caste, among scheduled caste, there must be a creamy layer. They must be out of reservation benefits. This was not implemented at that time in 1970. On 18, it was implemented with OBCs. Why it was implemented with OBCs? Because Bahujan unity was taking place and the number was up to 85 or 90%. How to divide them? They divided them through the instrument of creamy layer. Those who came in creamy layer, they were ousted from reservation benefits, and who were given reservation of non-creamy layer people, they did not know anything about reservation benefits or jobs or education opportunities. So it was their philosophy of divide and rule. In reservation or in promotion, also they did the same thing. They introduced an element of consequential seniority. Although reservation in promotion was already there since 1955 and 1973, legislations were there. But when they introduced consequential seniority, the Bahujan unity was affected. OBC people and minority people, they became against the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. That the persons or officers or employees of the same batch became very senior to them. The Bahujan unity was finished on that day. Again they found another instrument of divide and rule, collegium. In no country any system like that is there. It exists only in India that judges appoint judges. And what kind of judges we have? I have told you, Anka judges are there. Their decisions are being made with the instances of and examples of their scriptures, like Manusmriti. Again, another idea came to their mind. Lateral entry. Bureaucracy will appoint bureaucracy. Some of you might be knowing it. Joint Secretary is appointed directly. JS level, an IS officer who clears UPSC. He goes up after 20 years to that rank. And they can appoint their nephew at any time because reservation is not there. This is all to damage the constitutional benefits, to reservation benefits, to Bahujan unity, because they are always thinking about divide and rule. Now what happened? They were against caste census, and now we are happy and we are going to congratulate one another that they are ready. But what kind of process they would adopt? It is very sensitive matter, and we doubt especially what they would do in future, because they will include something like divide and rule. In September 24, one decision came about subcategorization. And one judge of scheduled caste was there. He is going to be CGI. It was to divide and destroy the reservation. Subcategorization. That vacancies must be in 2 or 3 parts. Telangana has elected a bill that the state examination will conduct any exam, and the reserve seats will be divided into 3 parts. For example, one thing I tell you, because I have to save the time also. If 2 vacancies of SDM are there only, how you would divide them in 3 parts? When the most backward of SCs are given only 1% reservation, that portion will get reservation benefit after 40 years in the roster. After 40 years, 30 years. By that time, what happens to the constitution and what happens to the reservation? Nobody knows. They are against. Now they are going to enact about implement Work Act also. They have already implemented Mahabodhi Vihar Act in 1949, where Buddhists are not in power in Mahabodhi Vihar Act. Hindus will decide about the Mahabodhi Vihar temple. These are all how to monopolize the things. Whenever they get power, they think always 2 things. How to quash reservation provisions and how to quash SC/ST Act. These 2 things are the greatest target when they say they have the power. SC/ST Act. Why they discontinued old pension scheme? When they saw that the people of scheduled caste and OBCs, they are coming more and more. Within 2-3 minutes I am going to finish. So they were not for old pension scheme, because most of the people were likely to be from OBCs and STs and SCs. So now they are thinking to reintroduce it also. Now what is the solution? These are the problems. You know and we also know. What are the solution? Solution has to be in our hands, and we have only 3 powers. Our power is right to vote, Second power is our ticket. And third power is manifesto. Our people do not know how to see, how to compare between the manifestos of the parties. There is manifesto of the candidate also. That is why votes are sold and the tickets are sold. Sometimes auctioned also. So we have to take notice of this. That if we are not concerned about vote, the importance of vote, it means our children are in danger. If our ticket goes to the Manuvadi people, to the people who do not believe in constitution and reservation, and Ambedkar thought, it means we are going to surrender before the people and our society will be in danger. Again, the third thing is there. If we do not compare between the manifestos of parties, if we do not prepare any manifesto of Bahujanwadi parties, we don't incorporate the problems and solutions in our manifestos, and we do not spread awareness about our manifestos, whether that is any Bahujanwadi party. I am not naming any specific party, but manifesto must be there to express our grievances, to give the solutions. Our solution is only our hissedari, our share, our participation. Whether it is sustainable development goal, whether it is Buddhism or anything, the fight is for our rights, our share. And if our vote, our ticket and our manifesto are dedicated for our share and reservation system, our constitution will be saved. Now, I would like to thank Mr. Satpalji again and the entire Ambedkar International Mission. Again, I will join you people whenever we come with family. This time I could not come with my family. I enjoyed a lot. All the artists here also, they were very excellent. Their songs, their lyrics, certainly who has written the lyrics, they also deserve thanks. Now Budhai, Jai Bhim. One slogan I tell you, संविधान के दुश्मन को न टिकट दो न वोट दो, हिस्सेदारी देख लो, मैनिफेस्टो देख लो. Thank you.
Thank you very much.